Okay, sorry about that. Got cut off a little bit, but we will do our last two problems right now. So the second to last one down here, we have a sphere. So our volume formula of a sphere, we said was 4/3 times pi times radius cubed for volume. And so we just need to make sure we know what that radius is. And we are given that right here. So it is 8 inches. Big thing to just be aware of is that you're not using the diameter, but we're not given the diameter here, so there's nothing to really worry about. So let's plug that in. These ones are nice because it's only one variable that we have to plug in. So 4/3 times pi times that radius cubed. So I can do some simplifying, clean this up a little bit. So 4/3 times pi times 8 cubed, that's going to be 512. And so the last thing I can do here, I have these two numbers that I can multiply together, the 4/3 and the 512. If I want to keep that as a fraction, that might be a little bit cleaner than making that a decimal. So if I were to, we can think of this as 512 over 1, technically. So I could multiply in the numerators. I would get 2,048 over 3, because then when I multiply in the denominators, I get 3 times 1 is 3. And then we can't forget we're still multiplying times pi. So don't forget to do your pi. And then also don't forget your units. So this will be in inches cubed. So I'm going to do that right down here. Volume equals 2,048 divided by 3 pi inches cubed. So there we have our answer for number 3. Again, you could get the decimal if you'd rather, but if you want it as a fraction, that's the most simplified form. And last but not least, we have another sphere. However, you will notice that we are given the circumference. We are not given the radius. So we got to do a little work to get the radius. I'm just going to copy down the formula so we know what we're working with. Times pi times radius cubed. All right. So like I just said, we're given the circumference. We need to come up with what this radius is going to be here. That's what we need for our formula for volume. So what I have to do is sort of work backwards. Remember that our circumference formula was 2 times pi times radius. So I can substitute in, because I know the circumference is 12 pi. I'm going to substitute that in for c. And then I'm going to leave what I have on the right-hand side, because I'm trying to solve for that r variable. So this is all multiplication here on the right. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi to get r by itself. Over here, my pi's will cancel because pi divided by pi, that's just 1. And then 12 divided by 2, we know that's 6. And so I actually should put my units here. So we know that radius is going to be 6 feet for my radius. So that's just kind of a preliminary step. I'm now going to be able to plug that in for my volume formula. So we have 4/3 times pi times radius, which was 6 cubed. And so what I can do, similar to the last problem, just clean this up a little bit. And so I'm going to keep my 4/3 times pi. 6 cubed is going to be 216. And now I could use a calculator or do whatever, but I can clean this up a little more. So I could put that over 1 again. If I do 216 times 4, and then even divided by 3, I actually end up getting a whole number. So the final answer here should be 288 times pi. So what I did here was I did 216 times 4 in the numerator, and then divided by, in the denominator, 3 times 1, which is just 3. So this is my final answer. Our units was feet, and in volume, we need to make sure it's cubed. So here we go. Volume equals 288 feet cubed. All right, so here we have all 4 examples, and you should be able to use this as well as those formulas from the first page to help you with the practice sheet.